The voicemail that wasn't meant for me. The voicemail said my name twice, and then someone laughed, and then the line went dead. I was standing in my kitchen with my phone in my hand, staring at the screen, like it might change its mind and tell me I imagined it. Unknown number, 23 seconds long, left at 11:47 p.m. I listened again. My name, clear as day, not mispronounced, not guessed. Followed by, "Don't tell her yet," and then a soft laugh I didn't recognize. I didn't call back. I didn't text. I just stood there until the kettle screamed itself empty and the room smelled faintly burnt. At that point, I wasn't scared. I was confused. Confusion is quieter. It gives you room to pretend nothing's wrong. The context came later. The voicemail wasn't from work. I knew that immediately. The tone was wrong. Too casual. Too intimate. The kind of voice people use when they think they're safe. I thought about my circle. Family, close friends, co-workers, acquaintances I tolerate. I replayed the laugh in my head, like a puzzle piece that refused to snap into place. The next morning, my sister texted me a picture of her dog wearing a birthday hat. I almost replied with, "Did you call me last night?" Even though that made no sense. That's what the voicemail did to my brain. It made everything feel slightly off-center. I didn't tell anyone, not yet. At work, things were normal in a way that felt aggressive. Emails, meetings, someone reheating fish in the microwave. I kept checking my phone like it might confess something new. At lunch, my coworker Daniel sat across from me and asked if I was okay. He said I seemed quiet. I wanted to ask him if he knew something. I wanted to ask everyone. Instead, I said I didn't sleep well, which was true. I kept waking up at 11:47, my brain convinced I'd missed something. That night, I got another voicemail. Same number. This one was shorter, 10 seconds, no name, just breathing, then a click, like someone realized too late that they'd pressed the wrong button. That's when the fear showed up. Not the dramatic kind, the slow, itchy kind. The kind that makes you second-guess the locks even when you know they're fine. I Googled the number. Nothing useful, no business listing, no spam reports, just a blank space where certainty should be. I finally told someone. Not the police, not HR. I told my friend Leah, because Leah doesn't rush to conclusions, and she asks uncomfortable questions. She listened to both voicemails without interrupting. Then she asked, "Are you sure they were meant for someone else?" That question irritated me more than it should have. Of course they weren't meant for me. Why would they be? That would imply intention. "Why would someone leave a voicemail for me like that?" I said. Leah shrugged. "Sometimes people think indirect is safer." That stuck with me. The next day, I noticed small things I hadn't paid attention to before. My upstairs neighbor, Evan, held the door for me longer than usual. He smiled like he was waiting for something. When I said thanks and kept walking, his face fell just a little. At work, Daniel asked if I wanted to grab a drink after hours. He's asked before. I've always said no. This time he added, "Just us, no pressure." At the grocery store, the cashier said my name out loud when she handed me the receipt, even though it wasn't printed anywhere visible. I laughed it off, but my chest tightened anyway. It felt ridiculous to connect these things. I knew that. But once your brain starts mapping danger, it doesn't care about being reasonable. That night, I didn't get a voicemail. Instead, I got a text. Unknown number. "Sorry about the other night. Wrong pocket." That was it. No emoji, no explanation, no name. I stared at it for a long time before responding. Who is this? The typing bubbles appeared immediately, then disappeared, then appeared again. Someone who shouldn't have your number. I didn't like how honest that felt. "How did you get it?" I asked. Several minutes passed, long enough for me to put my phone down, pick it back up, and consider turning it off entirely. Finally, from someone who trusts me. That answer narrowed things down in a way that made my stomach drop, because I don't hand my number out easily. The list of people who have it is short, manageable, or at least I thought it was. I asked Leah what she thought. She said the worst part wasn't the mystery, it was the power imbalance. Someone knew something about me that I didn't know about them. She suggested blocking the number. I didn't. Not yet. I wanted to know why my name had been said like that. Casually. Familiar. Like it belonged in someone else's mouth. 2 days later, Daniel stopped by my desk, near the end of the day. He asked if I'd gotten any weird calls lately. My heart started racing before I could stop it. I asked why. He shrugged. I got a spam call last night that left a voicemail. Just silence. Freaked me out a little. I listened carefully to how he said it. Too carefully. I didn't tell him about mine. That night, the unknown number texted again. I shouldn't have said your name. I typed and erased 3 different responses before settling on, you shouldn't be contacting me at all. The reply came fast. I know. That's why this is hard. Hard for who? I asked them to explain, to just say it plainly. They didn't. Instead, they sent a voice memo. 8 seconds. No name, no laughter this time. Just a voice saying, I thought you deserved to know. And then stopping short, like the rest of the sentence got swallowed. I didn't reply. The next morning, my sister called me. She asked if I'd talked to Daniel recently. She said he'd added her on social media the night before, and it felt random. That's when something ugly clicked into place. Not a full picture, just a shape. I thought about who talked to who overlapped, who might share my number casually, without thinking it mattered. I thought about how people justify things when they think they're helping. That afternoon, I got coffee with Evan, my neighbor, because he asked, and I didn't have a good reason to say no. We talked about nothing important. The weather, the building, work. As we were leaving, he said, I heard you've been dealing with some weird calls. I stopped walking. I asked him how he knew that. He froze, then smiled too quickly. You mentioned it in the hallway, didn't you? I hadn't. The voicemail number texted me one last time that night. I didn't mean to start something. I just didn't want you finding out later and feeling stupid. Finding out what? I typed that. The message stayed unread. It's been 3 weeks. No more voicemails, no more texts, no explanations. Daniel doesn't ask me out anymore. Evan barely looks at me. Leah says, that's a good thing. But sometimes late at night, I replay the first voicemail in my head. The way my name sounded. The laugh afterward. Not cruel, not kind, just certain. And I keep wondering whether the voicemail was a mistake or a warning.